Hello, my friends. This is Wake Angel 2001. I'm feeling a little bit stuffy, but I figured I could still put out a quick little video. This is the easiest figure remolds or repaints that Jakks Pacific can do to prevent the new re-releases from peg warming. Now, you know what peg warmers are, right? It's when you get that one figure left in the wave that either nobody likes, everyone already has, or the company expected to be super popular but wasn't. So all the other figures in the wave will sell, and then this one will be just stuck languishing there. People hate peg warmers. It cuts into the profit margins of stores, so the stores don't like it, and collectors don't like it because as long as they stay there, it makes the shelf be full, and then the store won't order a new wave to get the figures that they actually want. So yes, and us Sonic figure collectors are way too familiar with this phenomenon as well, because Jakks Pacific almost always re-releases at least one figure from an older wave in their new waves. Currently, you should be seeing quite a few Sonics in there when you're actually trying to find your Heavy Kings or whatever. So, is there a way that Jakks Pacific can mitigate this? Yes. Using the same mold, make a very slight alteration so that it's technically a new character or a variation on another character that, people will actually want. So I'm going to go down this in 3 tiers. The first tier is when you're going to need to have a couple of new pieces made in order to make the mold work as another variation. So we're going to start with the one that I think might actually sell better than anything else here, the Soap Shoes Sonic. Yes, just re-release the Sonic mold, but just make new shoes. So you're going to need 2 new pieces, the left foot and the right foot. Oh, by the way, in this context, we are not counting the accessories as another new piece because, they always include accessories, and if they can include accessories like, the giant guns that came along with the Egg Robo or Heavy Gunner, or the Extreme Gear board that came with Jet. I'm just gonna assume that tooling for a new accessory is just kind of something that they can do. So yeah, just re-release Sonic with the soap shoes, and everybody wants these soap shoes. They have been in recent games, like the new Sonic Colors, I believe, and they were in Sonic Forces, so people are aware of these shoes, so old fans want them, younger fans want them. Just, just make 2 new shoes. The new Sonic figure actually had a new head, or at least muzzle made, to have a grimacing look instead of his usual smile. So, just take some of that budget that you used to make that new muzzle, and use it to make these shoes instead. And there you go. 2 new pieces made, and there you go. Now this one's kind of a transition, because you could make it with 2, but you could get away with making only 1 new piece. And that is Mephiles in his original form, before he turned all crystally. You would basically just be reusing your shadow mold, and all you'd really need to do is make a new muzzle that doesn't have a mouth sculpted in. And there you go. Yes, now some people might get pedantic and say that you also need to make different chest hair, because the chest floof on Mephiles is slightly different from Shadow's. I think it's supposed to be his chest floof is supposed to kind of look like a silhouette of Solaris. But again, you might be able to get away with just repainting Shadow's chest slightly. But yeah, this might need 2 pieces. You could get away with 1 new piece. Now, as for parts that will genuinely only need 1 new piece molded in, I would say the Sonic and the Black Knight version of Sonic. In this case, all you would need is a new right hand. The metal gauntlet that he wore in that game when he wielded the sword. Now, yes, you will also need to make a Caliburn accessory, but like I said, these new accessories do seem to be budgeted in quite often, including, if you can make a giant gun that's only going to be used for Heavy Gunner, I'm pretty sure you can make this Caliburn just this one time. So yeah, you have all for the cost of just the molding of 1 new glove and a sword, then you have a new Sonic figure that, again, will fly right off the pegs instead of languishing there after everything else sells. Alright, so now we're getting into just pure remolding. Things that you can get away with just giving it a new color, and you would not have to actually make any new tooling whatsoever. Just like either paint it a different color, add some decoration, or cast it in a different color. But your molds already exist and you do not have to do anything new. So first, we're going to do Cyber Sonic. That is the form that Sonic took right at the end of the New Horizons DLC, where he's getting ready to do his final attack on the end. This would basically just be a supersonic figure, which you would repaint or cast in like this blue and black color scheme. It'll look awesome. Yeah, like it kind of an homage to so many variations. Like it's a little bit the Fleetway Supersonic, it's a little bit Hypersonic, it's a little bit Dark Supersonic from Sonic X. But yeah, like it's just the exact same mold. You're just giving it a little bit more of a complex paint job. Now, I put this first because you might need to make a new tooling for a muzzle. Like, if you want to give him this big grimacing look with the sharpened teeth to really sell the crazy cybernetic Sonic that's going on here, maybe you're making one new part for this. But again, you can get away with this just as a pure repaint. Something that you can definitely get away with as a pure repaint with no additional tooling at all would be Supersonic 2. Yeah, like the form that Sonic took when he was fighting the end for most of this fight, aside from the final scene. Basically, this is just Supersonic with, you know, light blue eyes instead of red eyes. You might be able to make it look a little bit more different by casting it in a slightly more vibrant shade of yellow, or perhaps reusing that, remember when they re-released the Supersonic with a gold paint job along with a metallic looking Knuckles and Tails, which I insist is still an homage to Sonic Heroes? Yeah, like basically do that, but now his eyes are blue instead of red. Boom! The Starfall Supersonic. Or Supersonic 2, or whatever it is that we're calling this. So yeah, like no remolding necessary at all. Just use the Sonic, use Supersonic, but it's a different thing. Oh, speaking of super forms, Super Knuckles! Yeah, like take the classic Knuckles, recast him pink. In fact, they sort of already did this with the Easter Knuckles. As you may recall my custom, all I had to do was take the Easter Knuckles, which was cast in pink, and repaint his shoes to be back to the way that they originally were, and there you go. Like, literally, just take your Knuckles mold, make probably classic Knuckles, because a lot more people are going to be familiar with Super Knuckles being from the classic games than they are from any of the modern games, because, like, again, like, in technically speaking, modern Knuckles has never gone into a super form, at least not one that changed his color like this. So yeah, classic Knuckles, cast him pink, keep his shoes the same this time, and there you go. Jakks, you already technically did this. Okay, so now we're getting out of the super forms and we're getting into other things. We have Cyber Corruption Sonic. Yeah, like now that we're not doing super forms anymore, like you do remember during Sonic Frontiers, Sonic spent most of that game like infected with the cyber corruption, which, you know, created this colorized effect. We remember from the like the promotional cutscene, we saw his arm turning all red and black, looking more like how Sage looked. But yeah, this was also an effect in the entire game. So like, you might actually be able to get away with doing a couple of variations of this, like the trailer version, which it just has the heavily colored arm, but the rest of him is mostly the same. Or you can like have some fun with this, like make this look like one of the video game shaded figures that NECA sometimes puts out. Like basically, you're just taking your regular Sonic mold, probably the one with the grimacing face to show he's feeling some pain, and just applying this thing to it. Like, I don't know how much you would want to have cover his body, like, if you just want to do some highlights, or if you wanted to cover the majority of the figure. But, you know, you have some options here. But no matter how you do it, it will sell. People will buy the Cyber Corruption Sonic. I saved this one for last because not only does it require you to make no additional tooling aside from a new accessory, but you can actually do this several times and get people to buy it multiple times over. I'm talking about the Shadow Androids. Yes, from the Shadow the Hedgehog game, and you could also arguably say from Sonic Heroes. All you have to do is take Shadow and paint his stripes different colors. You can go full on and make this out of like a metallic silver color, like you did for Mecha Sonic, and that would also work. People might actually be into that even more. But yeah, like you can actually just re-release this over and over again, like the same silverized repaint, but you can paint the stripes different colors: pink, blue, orange, green. Or, you don't even need to use a silver paint. Just make Shadow with his stripes different colors, and they'll be the Shadow Android. Now, the Shadow Android does have a big old gun arm sometimes, but you don't need to make this a gun arm. All you need to do is make the accessory a big gun, which fits over the figure's left hand, and make that look. So you don't need to change the tooling of the figure at all. All you need to do is make the accessory to cover the hand. And there you go. You have... All these are super easy repaints that you would require almost no new tooling for the figures, but when they come out, people will clamor to buy them anyway. They will not peg warm. People will want them because they are either a new character or a variation that they will want of an existing character, instead of just, having the character again. So, yeah, that's my idea on what Jakks Pacific can do to... monetize their constant re-releases and turn them from peg warmers into highly desired figures. This has been Wake Angel 2001 signing off.